Hello, this is the trade site Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 24th of January 2016, ending Friday, the 29th, basically the end of the month of January already. Hard to believe. Here's a look at the dollar index daily charts as usual, brought to you by eSignal 12. Here's the daily chart of the dollar index. Really flat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and popped up a bit Thursday and closed at the highest Friday in terms of a highest close of the week. Euro dollar, as usual, just looks like the inverse of that. Pound dollar continued, well, it actually got a little bounce after continuing lower early in the week. The Aussie dollar got a little bounce as well. Pound yen, the pound in general got a little bounce. Here's the euro yen, dead flat, untradeable really. Pound Swiss got a little pop, broke that downtrend line a bit, and the New Zealand dollar still sitting where it's been for months now, since back in August. Very uneventful trading there. Let's take a look at the 30-minute charts. Show you the whole week. And high to low on the euro dollar was 200 pips. Monday, as you can see, that was the holiday, so it didn't really matter. Bank holiday here in the U.S. Tuesday, small move up. Wednesday was the move down. Had a nice Thursday and Friday to close out the week. Actually, that was on the pound, though. The euro had the spike down there, you can see. The pound is where we made the money on the upside Thursday and Friday. Had a trade that carried over between the 2 days, two longs. They both worked. We had a decent week in Forex. Pound high to low was about 270 pips. So very uneventful day on Wednesday for the pound. Overall, there's nothing here to look at that is really a new technical discussion about where the markets are or where they're going. We're not breaking out of anything. We're not breaking down from anything. We've got no exhaustion signals. It's just a straight up trading period, if you will. Let's look at the next week. There's a lot to do this next week in terms of data, so be prepared for this. This is going to be a doozy. Sunday night, trade balance out of Japan, business confidence out of Australia. Monday, German business confidence, Italian retail sales, industrial order expectations out of the UK. It's a bank holiday for Australia going into Tuesday. SPPI out of Japan, credit card spending out of New Zealand. Going into Tuesday, trade balance in Switzerland. HPI, that's the housing price index, and the S&P composite index at 9 a.m. Eastern time here in the U.S. Flash services PMI, a little bit after that. Consumer confidence, that can be a big one. Richland manufacturing index. Tuesday night, MI leading index and CPI out of Australia. Going into Wednesday now. Tuesday starts a two-day Fed meeting. So Wednesday we've got UBS consumption indicator out of Switzerland, German 10-year bond auction out of Europe, new home sales here in the U.S., crude oil inventories here in the U.S., and then at 2 p.m. Eastern time, we've got the FOMC announcement and the rates for the Fed from first one of 2016. Then New Zealand, same thing. They announced their rate announcement. Trade balance out of New Zealand also comes out. Retail sales out of Japan, import prices out of Australia. German import prices and preliminary CPI going into Thursday. Spanish unemployment rate. Preliminary GDP out of the UK and their index of services. 10-year bonds out of Italy. CPI realized sales out of the UK. U.S. has the weekly unemployment claims, core durable goods, pending home sales, natty gas, building consents out of New Zealand, household spending, and the national and Tokyo CPI and the unemployment rate in Japan at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday evening here in the U.S., and then their industrial production. Consumer confidence out of the UK, PPI out of Australia, monetary policy statement out of Bank of Japan and their rate announcement. So we've got multiple rate announcements this week, U.S., Australia, and Japan, and then their press conference. Preliminary GDP out of Europe, and then here's the coming up on the big stuff. German retail sales, French CPI, French consumer spending, Spanish flash CPI and GDP, money supply out of Europe, private loans out of Europe. Canada releases their gross domestic product number for the for the fourth quarter, along with their RMPI and IPPI. And here's the big one here. The U.S., this is the first look. It's the advanced look at the GDP from the fourth quarter. It's always a super big one. It's a quarterly number, not a monthly number. The rest are revisions. So we're always half size ahead of that. Goods trade balance, employment cost index, Chicago PMI, Michigan sentiment. So we're going to be half size ahead of the Fed announcement on Wednesday, half size ahead of that massive and important advanced GDP number. And we will go from there. We will be in the lab helping you out as usual. Should be just another straightforward trading week. If you have not taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. If you do find these videos useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great trading week.